splashes.
I like the DJ.
Mr.Iconix and King
I really like the DJ.
Flashes.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Mikkel Rose, and welcome to Rose Chronicles Podcast. I'm so excited you decided to stop by and holler at your girl, guys. Today is going to be an amazing, wonderful show. Stay tuned because, listen, we're about to get a little bit deep up in here, okay? But before we get ready to get started, let me let you know, today, guys, we're going to be talking about prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself. I love it. And today's positive quote is, nobody deserves it more than you. Prove it to yourself. Okay? Again, nobody deserves it more than you. Prove it to yourself. I got this like extra thick lip gloss on and it's okay. So let's get ready to jump into this thing. So, have you ever thought, I don't deserve this, but prayed for everything that you have? Has that ever happened to you? You ever like realize, oh my God, everything that I prayed for, like I have, even if it's just like a peace of mind, a good, decent working car, like a good flow of income. Some like you look around and it's not exactly what you want, but it's there, right? Well, this is important to know and to realize. I remember at an early age saying I wanted to be an actress, and that's why my mind was always set, and like that's what I knew, right? I like to sing, and I loved me some Whitney Houston, okay? And I loved music. I love writing music, and that's just what I love to do, right? My very first instrument was the electronic drum set. You remember the lime green and black electrical drum set? It was like, and then it had like the little box in the middle that you know what I'm talking about. And then I also had an accordion. I love Steve Urkel, and it was like always my goal to learn how to play the accordion like Steve Urkel. So my grandparents bought me an accordion. They bought, like, I just had like instruments like everywhere. So but I love to sing, and I would sing in church. Everyone would get happy, and eventually it all made sense how life turned out. Now, being a radio host, I've been able to interview a lot of people and let them tell their story. And I must say, like myself, there is nothing better than realizing that all you went through, you actually came out with something, right? And it all came out like full circle. A lot of times, if you like see kids that like to play with dolls and, they like to change their clothes and put on and cut their hair and do little weird stuff, like, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Your child may be into fashion designing or something dealing with clothes. You may have, some of your kids like to play in the kitchen and always want to see what's cooking and, stuff like that. You may have a little chef on your hands, or you may have a nutritionist on your hands. So, it's so interesting how everything kind of comes into play in full circle. And I've really been able to acknowledge that and see that being a radio host on Iconix Radio. You guys go and check it out and subscribe on YouTube. Okay, did you catch that? Okay, so things like accomplishments are very much needed to acknowledge. To be acknowledged by you first, okay? And let me say that again. Accomplishments they're so important, and they must be acknowledged by you first. Like, don't wait for someone to say, oh, good job. No, pat yourself on the back, because you doing this thing. You're in this thing called life, right? You're making it happen. And so, you have come so far right now during the most difficult time. Let's be clear. During the most difficult time that we all could go through during the pandemic, during the quarantine, like mentally being shut down, losing our jobs, losing our finances, losing our just so much being lost. And look how far you've come. right? So you want to be able to pat yourself on the back for that because you are still here. You're still, if you're listening and you're watching Rose Chronicles podcast, then that means you're looking for something positive. You're looking for some self-love, self-care. You may just happen to scroll through and like, oh, look at this. Here I go, right? And so here's something that I look at for some people who don't acknowledge their accomplishments. Like they wake up and they're ungrateful, like they're not happy. They're like, oh, what am I going to do today? I don't know. You know, it's just another day. No, it's not another day. It's a great day because you are in the day. So you got a way to make it a great day, right? So I'm always on the lookout for people like that because I don't want that to be something that becomes familiar to me. Or, you know, you shouldn't want that to become familiar to you either. Just everything is always negative. No, we don't want that. And so, when you wake up in the morning, be happy, be grateful, and then work out to celebrate movement. Like, I think that that's, you know, something that's really important too. When you wake up in the morning, celebrate motion, like move, stretch, do something. That's very important, like to keep your high energy up and going, and, you know, you feel accomplished. You've done something for the day. Listen, before it got started, right? So to see how far you've come, find an old picture, at least 5 years old. I'm like, okay, think about it. A picture that's 5 years old. Like, do you remember before contouring came in of the eyebrows? And some people was just like drawing like just a line. They just had like no type of format of an eyebrow. Like, just think about that. Think of how far we've come, not just cosmetically, guys, but internally, right? There could have been something that you were so mad, angry, frustrated at years ago that does not matter today, okay? So think of how far you've come from 5 years ago. Find a picture, look at it, and then do some comparison and growth. That's pretty important, okay? Now, I may show a picture on my Instagram later, and I'm gonna show a picture at the end. But you know, I've been able to look at pictures over the last couple of weeks because we're coming to a new year and I'm cleaning out my phone and I'm like going past all of these old pictures that I've had for so long. And I'm just so proud of myself. You know, I look at pictures that I was taking last year during the pandemic, during the quarantine, if you will. I'm in the house and I'm just like, you know, I had just lost my mother, and, you know, mentally, I just didn't know like what life would look like. But look, see, you just never know. So be able to look back, find a picture again, find that picture that's 5 years old. It could be in one of your old phones. It could be in one of your cell phone right now. But find a picture that's 5 years old and do some comparisons. Look at the growth. Look at yourself, right? And then let's come back and talk about that, all right? It's your girl, Mikhail Rose, guys. We're going to take a few minutes, find that picture, look at that picture, study it. We'll be right back. Yeah. You said, can I talk right now?
No.
I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. What shot?
When I walked up earlier, I was trying to take a video of you.
I don't know. If you did, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, whatever. So, I'm finna do this second. Okay. We're going into my second segment. Okay. Huh? Caller? I should do that eventually, yeah. I should do that. I think that's a good idea. That'll be something different. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rose Chronicles. Did you find your picture? 5 years old. Okay, if you can find one like 2 years old, because you don't want to be like too. Find one. Find an old picture and compare it to yourself today. So, listen, we're about to get a little bit deeper, okay? But just know that I love y'all, and that's why I do this podcast. Because as a recording artist, as an EDM recording artist, and as a live performer, as an actress, and just all the hats that I wear, I think it's always been important for me to be honest in my life and in things that I've always done, and I've always taken pride in that. So I just figured, like, why not do a podcast? Why not be open and be vulnerable to you guys, and, you know, tell my truth? And it's helped a lot of people, and I'm just grateful for that. So there you go. We're here. All right. So we're about to get deeper. So hold on. Now, when you have a lot of thoughts of what people think, you begin to live in such disarray, okay, where you aren't able to be focused. You become a slave to people when you're always thinking about what other people think, right? It's so true. I'm telling you, I've done it. And sometimes I still do it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't perfect. But let me give you a few examples. Okay. So, for example, one, you walk into a room and the first thing that you're thinking in your head, who's talking about me? Like, oh my God, like, is my foot turned crooked? Like, I'm pigeon toe and bow-legged at the same time, depending on the time of day. And so sometimes when I wear heels, you know, I'm thinking like, oh my God, like, my foot, is it too far in? But just think about that. Like, do you ever walk into a room and you're wondering if anybody's looking at you? Like, is this sense of nervousness comes over you, right? You go into school and you're wondering if the teacher likes you, you know? You're dating someone. Does his parents approve? Does her parents approve, right? Being in a new environment. Will I fit in? Okay. These are just examples. When becoming a new parent, will I be good enough? Okay. These are some of the things that go through our minds all the time. And for every situation, there's always a new thought, right? And this is why I'm doing this episode today called Prove It to Yourself. Prove it to yourself, okay? So now, listen, going through life questioning everything, everyone, and all the time, like, you will go crazy, right? Why not focus on proving to yourself that you're special in every room that you walk in, number one, right? Take a deep breath and believe that when you walk into a room, you're supposed to be there. Otherwise, like, if you're just walking into rooms uninvited, you know, like, hey, how you doing? Nobody knows you, right? If you're invited into a room, you're supposed to be there. If you're going there with somebody, you're supposed to be there. So take a deep breath before you walk into that room. Don't go in trying to think about who's looking at you, if anybody's talking. No, you're supposed to be in that room, right? Going to school means you are there to learn and focus on your grades. The teacher ain't got to like you. But if you're doing everything you're supposed to do in class and abroad, then you're going to get what's due to you. That's also why the teacher also has the principals and counselors and people and your parents to actually come in and reinforce if you're being if you're being done wrong. You know, so do your work. Don't focus on whether the teacher likes you or not. The teacher's pet may be somebody else. It ain't you. That ain't your friend during that class period. The teacher don't like you. But the answers is what matter, right? The answers to the test. The right answers is what matter. Okay? So, create your spaces when you go into new territories. If you move to a new city, you're not trying to fit in the city. You're trying to fit into your space, right? Into your territory. Obviously, if you're going to a new city, you should be making plans before you get there, right? So if you move into a new environment, if you're going into a new environment, you create your space in that territory. Right? If you go into a room, you don't have to be in the middle of the room. You ain't got to be in the front of the room unless you're supposed to be speaking or performing or something. But other than that, go find you a table and sit down and observe the room. Right? Go into the corner and watch and work the room from there to see who looks approachable, who's not. Create your space in your own territory. Okay. Even though it's a new environment, you can create your own little bubble, your own little spot where you're comfortable. And if people are approachable, or if you find yourself comfortable enough to be approaching other people, then you'll come out of that space or they'll come into yours. Right? But you don't have to always go into new environments wondering if you're going to fit in. No. It doesn't work like that, right? Well, it shouldn't. You shouldn't go into every room just trying to fit in. No. You create your own space in that territory and you make people adapt to you, okay? So I'm trying to tell you to prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself. Last but not least, there is no manual, people. Listen to me clearly. There is no manual to becoming a parent, but there is lessons learned. And there's unconditional love that needs to be given with understanding and truth. Okay? I'm going to say that one more time. There is no manual to becoming, especially these new kids. Let me take a minute. Look, these new kids different. You know, I ain't going to lie to you. You know, these 2000, 14, 15, 16 babies, they're a little bit different. I'm saying that because there's no manual, but there is love and understanding, unconditional love and understanding, and patience that we have to have with this new generation of children and children, period. No matter the age, color, race, size, gender, whatever, okay? There's a level of understanding and unconditional love that has to be given. There is no manual to parenting. I mean, Google. But no, I'm just kidding, guys. I have jokes all day. But you can always turn those negative thoughts around and prove the positive outcome can happen. Prove it to yourself before you walk into the rooms. Prove it to yourself that I'm going in here with a positive mindset. Okay? Prove it to yourself that when you're dating someone, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks on the other side. The only thing that matters is if this person respects me and loves me and takes care of me and shows me respect. Okay? And demands it abroad. I just want to say that too. Okay. So, yes. So I want you guys to, if you didn't catch anything that I said, I want you to go back and listen to it again, because these are some of the thoughts that we all struggle and we all fight with every single day. Every single day, guys. Ever got on a Zoom call and you was like, oh my God, I wonder if this is oh my God, let me fix my background. Oh my God, do I have on a perfect shirt? Like, you're thinking about all these things. It's a Zoom call. Get the job done and get off the call. Prove it to yourself that you can get on the call and get off with a job well done. Okay? These are the things that I want you guys to really take into consideration. Don't be driven and don't be pushed, guys, by negative thoughts. Prove it to yourself that the positive outcome can happen. The positive outcome can happen before you even walk into the room, before you even become a parent, before you even meet the parents, to the in-laws to be, or whoever you're gonna meet, right? All of these before you move to that new city, going into a new environment, before you get to that new school, before you move into this new neighborhood, right? You want to already prove to yourself that the positive outcome is already happening. And you got to start that here within you. Prove it to yourself. I believe that this is a very strong and very important message for everybody. Everybody should hear this and really take heed, guys, that the new year is coming. The new year is coming. And the same way that you got through 2019, 2020, 2021, you can do better and go in stronger in 2022, just knowing that you can first prove it to yourself. Don't look out for anybody else. Prove it to yourself first, because you are the one who has to get the job done. Okay? So don't be a Debbie Downer. Nope. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't be a problem pusher. Be a problem solver. Okay, guys, I know you got gems for today because I love you every single time I get on the microphone. I love you guys so much. It's your girl, Mikhail Rose. I hope that you got something from today. Please go and subscribe to Iconix Radio on YouTube. Subscribe to Mike Rose, Rose Chronicles podcast, guys. Check out each and every last episode because there's something for all of you to fall in love with, okay? Also, we got Kicks and Tricks that's holding it down. Shout out to my boy Little Ron, an amazing producer, director. I call him like Spike Lee Jr. cousin. He's amazing. Chopping it up with Little Ron, Kicks and Tricks. What else is it? The King's Lounge. The King's Lounge, guys. It's so much happening right now. Documentary being filmed as well in the making. Guys, shout out to Iconix Radio, to the entire Iconix Radio team, Grunge Cake, Ill Trill, DJ Durkish. Like, listen, guys, it's getting crazy around in these streets. Shout out to Richard behind the scenes. Listen, I love you guys so much. Thank you again for tuning in. Rose Chronicle Podcast is your girl, Mikhail Rose. Smooches and Roses, we are